This is the news section. We're going to do it straight away. It's the important stuff that we're talking about. And this week, it's the pound that is absolutely crashing. It got to its lowest point ever against the dollar. Some people think it's going to get to parity with the dollar and euro, if not a little bit below that as well. So Kwasi Kwarteng, the new Chancellor of the Exchequer, is first. Imagine starting a job, your first big presentation, you destroy a currency. Because that's basically what he did with his mini budget.
Oh, guys, I think I've messed this up a little bit. Oh,
yeah, and he's refusing to answer questions on it. Investors got spooked because he didn't actually give any costings. So now it's going to cost him more to borrow the money he needs to borrow to do what he said he was going to do, because the interest rates are going to go up and it's all a bit of a mess. He has to change his plan. Bank of England said it would boost interest rates again, and it'll probably boost them by quite a lot. Mortgage companies are stopping offering rates to customers because they just don't know what the interest rate is going to be in the next couple of days. There could be an emergency announcement. Imports are getting more expensive. Holidays too, especially, honeymoons or, weddings. If someone's having a wedding abroad, that's going to cost a lot of money. I mean, I don't know if anyone's thinking of doing that.
Stop, Jim. No, stop. Because this has been very stressful. I'm getting married in 3 weeks in Corfu, and I haven't paid the final tariff, paid the final bill for my wedding, which means it's going to be more expensive when I pay it than I was expecting it to be, a lot more expensive. It's 10p on the pound more expensive.
And no one wants a weak pound on your wedding day, do you? So.
Yay!
Well, there's some things are guaranteed, Jim. But
speaking from experience, they are not.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be way too drunk to be worried about anything like that. But we've been stressed because exactly that. One of the reasons we chose to go abroad was when after lockdown we were looking at the costings of wedding in the UK versus abroad, and get a lot more bang for your euro, or you did. For going abroad, and it looks like all of that's just about to be erased out just before I'm about to pay the bill. So that's great.
So you are going to be out of pocket by quite a lot.
Considerably. I'm going to be considerably out of pocket because of this. Yep. And what can I do about it? Apart from, say, great
Cut
first
the guest list.
I know you've booked your flight and it's a couple of weeks to go. But if you wouldn't mind not coming now, we're just going to go for a small intimate occasion.
Well, I am Jim, delighted we didn't get invited now, because I wouldn't want to be changing the money.
It's gutting because I can smile about it. I guess I'm trying to smile about it because there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. But it's just it's like your student loan. It's just always there, isn't it? You pay money off it. It's got to be paid. We've got to pay for the wedding. We're this far in now, and so we're gonna have to do it. But yeah, cheers, Kwasi. I think. Cheers, Liz.
Connor, who is our executive producer for this show, he said we should start Sparky a GoFundMe. There will be people doing that, won't there? There'll be people who are just because they genuinely are so invested in it now, in whatever they're doing, or I mean, people will have less sympathy for people who are going to get married abroad than potentially businesses importing things from abroad. But there will be people who will be really struggling, people who've committed to importing a load of things, which now will be completely too expensive for them to do that and too expensive for them to make any profit on it. It's a really scary prospect.
It is things you don't expect it or don't actually think straight away that it affects. Now, of course, it's affecting people in a lot of serious ways, but the jeweler, the guy who we bought the wedding ring off, I was speaking to him a couple of weeks ago before all this happened, and he was saying they buy all of to maximize profit, a lot of jewelers, especially small businesses, he's a small business, buy their gold in dollars, because you get a better exchange rate and then your value works out better than that. Because of the effect of the market, his profit has been smashed, and it's already having an effect. I know it's a jeweler's, so you just think, oh, well, they got money. But no, obviously everyone's working to a budget and a top line.
The
this
thing
has
is,
been considerably moved.
You say, like Jim said, there'll be people actually starting GoFundMe pages and stuff to help out with this. Problem with that is no one's got any money to give to a GoFundMe page. Connor's also made a joke about signing his missus up to OnlyFans, and I don't want to step on anyone's toes with news stories here, but I swear every other news story I see, now that the Queen is sort of done, every other news story I see is, oh, someone signed up, like landlady to a pub signed up to OnlyFans.
Ex
signed up to OnlyFans.
priest, ex
Yeah.
priest gets kicked out of parish, now makes millions on OnlyFans.
Like, honestly,
And you're like, God
what
does
is
work in
this?
mysterious ways.
But what is this as a society, as an economy, that really the only way to make any serious money at the moment is to sell your body?
Everyone's plan B. is
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
At least we've got OnlyFans.
It's sad though. It's going to get to a point where like a guy's going to meet a girl and be like, and he'll be like, "Oh, you look so familiar." And then they eventually get to the part where she drops her knickers, and he goes, "I know,
I've seen that before. I've paid to see
I've
that
seen
before.
that before."
I've subscribed to that for a while.
You know,
But also,
Quasi's going to have to do it. Quasi's going to have to get on there, isn't he? To balance the books. Do you want to see my fiscal policy? I'll get it out there.
Don't know, like, I mean, seriously.
But also, like, what a weird state of the economy that is what people are paying money for. Like, I buy and sell guitars. No one is buying guitars at the moment. No one is buying guitars. Everyone is selling because there's just not the cash around, you know. But OnlyFans, people will still pay for porn.
That doesn't make sense. It's like, and it is free, you know. Like I could give you a couple of. Well, my friend can give you a couple of websites.
Yeah.
They might be watching, guys.
Actually, if you say that, you might not have to have the wedding, so that'll be all right.
Hold on, Jim.
I guess that old saying, Jack, with sex sells and the whole world is buying, is where it's at, man.
I guess it is the one thing that keeps going, isn't it? The one thing that you can still do, even when generally for free, not always. So anyone else starting to panic? Mortgage is going to go up again quite a lot.
I'm on a 5-year fixed, so I'm all right.
Oh, I panic rang my mortgage guy today because our renewal is in the middle of what I think is going to be the epicenter of this. Like, we got to renew our 2-year fixed May next year, so the numbers are going to be out by then. And I'm ringing him saying, should we get ahead of this? Like, should we try and do it? Like, I've not got no financial knowledge really. I completely rely on this guy to give me good financial advice because I'm an idiot that works on the radio. I don't know numbers. And he calmed me down a bit because he was like, the way the interest rates, and this is like, I don't know any, this is just hearsay. I'm not giving any professional advice. I know we're on a podcast and you don't come here for professional advice, but he's like, you've got to think, if everybody's mortgage tripled, like that's a lot of people getting repossessed, and then that's not the economy growing. So like I'm potentially going to end up paying more for my mortgage in the next couple of years for the fixed rate, but I was thinking it's going to double, it's going to triple. And I was thinking, because do you all remember that figure that they put on your mortgage when you sign it? And it's like, if the interest rate returns to 11%, which it has been before, this is how much your monthly mortgage cost would be. And it's the most terrifying number you've ever seen written down. Because
it was in the 80s, it did get up to that, didn't it? It got up to like 11% and stuff, and that's what I'm always in the back, because I have our mortgage, and then I've got a mortgage on a flat that for some reason I still own and I could never get rid of, and they've both been like tracker ones, just like variable rate ones, and for so many years that's been brilliant. I've been paying like the minimum possible, and it's been great. And now it started to lift, and I was trying to kind of face off the market a little bit, going, they won't put it up loads in a short amount of time, will they? That'll destroy the economy. Oh, they are doing. Oh my goodness, no, it's happening. So today I've managed to get a fixed rate for 5 years for £5 more a month than I'm paying right now, and I could not hit that confirm button fast enough when I read that. When I saw it, I was like, I can't believe this is true. This is probably a mistake. They've offered it though. I'm pressing it now, and that's it. Fixed in for 5 years, and I'm paying essentially what I'm paying now. And I mean, if you're in a position, just see what your mortgage provider has, because they can do it straight away. The thing is, if you're getting a new mortgage, you have to apply for it and it'll take a week or two. If you go in with your current one, then they could do it pretty much straight away. So it
Yeah.
is worth seeing what they could offer. That is the advice I would give. Once again, do not come to this podcast for
Actual
on
advice.
anything.
There you go.
My advice is we've always used the mortgage advisor, and that guy has been an absolute G. He has always gotten us amazing deals. I mean, recently we've signed we're locked in for 10 years on our mortgage. And because it was complicated with the annex now that we got where my folks are living, our previous mortgage lender wouldn't give us a loan because of the annex. So we had to go with another provider who did. And yeah, we've got a pretty decent rate for the next 10 years. And we got a letter the other day from our old provider. Had we stuck with them, that somehow they've sent a letter through saying, "Oh, your new monthly payments will be £700 more than what we were paying with them." And now that we've remortgaged, we took more money out to do some more renovations, and we're still paying less than what
Wow.
we
Doesn't
would have
make
had we just
sense.
stuck with them. Yeah, it's crazy.
Can we all just get a fair deal, please? Like, I mean, is that a lot to ask for? Like, can everybody just get a fair deal? Can we trust the people that have been given the keys to the big safe of England to make the right decisions for us?
I
Please?
tell you this time and time again, banks are scum. Don't ever trust them. They're out for themselves, dude.
You know, we're live now. You know,
Yeah.
previously
Unless-
I've been able to edit that
Unless they
out.
want,
I
they
don't
want to sponsor
care,
this
dude.
show, in which case,
I will gladly see myself out of that sponsorship. You guys
So,
can do it. That's fine.
there you go. Brad has locked himself into a mortgage for 10 years, or in Brad talk, 5 more lots of renovations. Jack, do you have a news story?
I do. So, you know, I'm having a bit of a time with my 4-year-old at the moment. I don't know if I've mentioned that on this pod, but he's going through something at the moment where he's a bit fighty with me. And you know, he'll shout at me. Oh, you know, the real teenage stuff. You know, right? If you don't let me have pizza for dinner, you don't love me, and I don't want to live in this house anymore.
Four. The
yeah,
attitude
yeah.
can start. Oh no!
Yeah.
You're terrifying.
Have you not noticed how my eyes look like piss holes in the snow right now? I thought the sleepless nights early on were going to be what killed me, but I think it might be 4. Anyway, I read this story about Prince George that you might have seen, and I'm not into the royals, but this spoke to me on another level.
Go on.
Prince George told classmate at school, "My father will be king, so you better watch out." He apparently got into a spat with a kid at school, and that's how he ended it.
I mean, it is true, though. His dad will be able to get that kid killed. If he wanted
That is
to,
true,
and I'm
yeah.
not saying he will, and I'm not saying he'll get anyone killed, I'm just saying he has got the power.
You see, for me, with my boys being the craze of Norfolk, it's the other way round. You know, I say to other dads, "You watch out, because my kids, when they're older, they could have you whacked."
Because for your kids, it would be, you watch out. When my dad gets home, he might sell another guitar. It's not as threatening, is it?
Slightly above market rate.
Fingers crossed, anyway. Ooh, but not in this climate,
Oh, no.
unfortunately. I always fear hearing that my kids have said something horrible at school, like, because you hear kids say it. There's a kid, you know, that I heard of that was like threatening people's families and stuff, and it's just like,
Jeez.
you wouldn't want to be that one
No,
where the
no.
teachers ring up and just gone, "Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, your child has been like threatened to shank someone."
No, may I clarify? My children only threaten me.
Yeah, of course.
They do not threaten anyone else. Everywhere else you
You
go,
know
they're
what?
good as gold.
You know
I
what?
was talking about the future king. He's been
You know-
threatening people.
You know what? Patricide hasn't been a real big thing since like the 1700s. I'm sure your kids can bring it back.
It's retro, isn't it? That's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
But I just the way this article is worded is it like describes him as cheeky, a little cheeky exchange that Prince George has had, and I'm like, no, if that was any other kid, you would
Yeah.
not be describing that as cheeky.
Yeah.
They always
You're
do
like,
that
what
with,
little shit.
with the royal family, though, don't they? They just go. And people were in stitches when Prince Charles said a joke, or King Charles he is now, I guess. And it tells you what the joke was, and it's like, I don't think they were in stitches. I think they just went, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like the humour that Jim wrote for Gary Delaney, is it, guys? It's not.
No, exactly.
You know, the King's not on that level. But
Pure
it's
gold.
not. It's not George you've got to be worried about, though. If you remember back to the Jubilee, when is it Archie, the one that they wouldn't even like? Well, of course, he's probably too young to go to the Queen's funeral, but the way he looked like he was threatening Princess Catherine, like, you need to back off.
Oh, Louis,
Like,
wasn't it? Yeah,
Louis,
was
sorry,
Louis,
not
yeah,
Archie. Sorry, Louis.
Yeah.
Archie's
Archie
Harry's baby.
being the son of Harry and Meghan. Yeah, if he said this, it'd be like,
Oh.
little thug.
Yeah.
That hoodlum. No, Louis. Yeah, he looked like trouble on the balcony. He was funny.
Yeah.
Well, he looked like Trouble Stroke was a normal child bored at a boring event. Yeah, but you know what?
yeah.
Whichever. Sparky, do you have a news story?
I do, and it's a new type of hotel, guys, that we could all head to. We could all go for a sleepover. That's part of the reason I like this story. You know, they say counting sheep helps you go to sleep. Well, these new hotels, the world's first real counting sheep hotel, is launching. It's launching next year, and it's basically a farmer that is clearly struggling to
Come on.
to make ends meet. Now, you know, some farmers are just putting solar panels in the middle of their. Hold on, I got some mic issues here, guys. I just want to drop that. There we go.
Who's the professional broadcaster here?
It is me, but this equipment's set up by me, and I'm not a professional technician. Let me tell you that.
So explain what this is then, because people maybe just saw that picture on the screen. For people listening, what is this farmer doing?
It's basically, he's got these giant see-through pods with double beds in. He's bigging it up as a luxury experience, but it's like you're going to be in a sheep field. Basically, it's an Airbnb in a sheep field, massive see-through dome, and he's going to write numbers on the side of the sheep for you, and you can count the sheep before you fall to sleep, and it's a proper way to relax. And then you'll be woken up with a yoga breakfast, apparently. And
what's a yoga breakfast?
You do yoga before you have breakfast.
I think you have to bend over to find it.
You got to pour the milk in a unique way.
Yeah.
But as a parent of a toddler, I feel like he's marketing this in the wrong way, because I think Jackson would absolutely love to stay over in here as a 2.5-year-old boy, like in a massive dome in the middle of a sheep field, just counting the sheep, being amongst the animals. So.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a zoo where they have the Perspex domes in the middle of the meerkat enclosure or something like that?
Yeah.
It's that, isn't it?
It's that, but in a farmer's field where you can't sleep over in a zoo, though, can you, Jack? So
But why would you want to sleep over in a clear, see-through?
I'm not selling this, guys. I'm bringing this as the news story. I'm just saying this farmer has come along with this is how people are having to come up with it. That or OnlyFans, guys, and he's gone only sheep. He's gone. I've only got sheep. You can come and pay to sleep in a field with my sheep.
Fair enough. Brad, what's your news?
You're not signing up for it, Jim. You don't want to go.
It's not mine. It's not where I'm going on holiday. Although, is it in the UK?
It's in the UK, so
Well, then there's no problems with exchanging money, so that's a good thing. That's
Also,
the
Jim,
one bonus.
You do go on holiday to Norfolk, which is
Yeah.
very similar to this.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
That's why you're underwhelmed, Jack. You're just surrounded by sheep anyway.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I get that for free. I just look out
Just
my
life,
window. Like I don't need to be in a snazzy dome, mate, and pay for the cost of it.
Do you think he's a strange voyeur, this bloke? Because why would you want to get people to come and sleep in a see-through dome in your... I mean...
Oh, it's like Ace Ventura when he's in the rhino thing. It comes out the bum of that. The farmer's actually in a sheep. Like that.
With his
And-
binoculars out.
With his
it's gonna get-
binoculars. And then halfway through the night, he'll come out of the robot sheep's anus and spy on you.
As long as that's the only anus anyone's coming out of in the
If you
As long
had
as, that's
robot
the only
sheep's,
anus someone's going in.
if you had robot sheep's anus in the Loose Dad sweepstake this evening, that's to be mentioned. And well done. You've won us some money.
I feel like you've rescued that shonky news story, Jack. Well played.
Brad, what's your news story this week?
All right, so chess champion brands teen rival a cheat amid claims he used anal beads to win.
Yeah.
Right. I saw this headline.
Great story.
Didn't read any further. What is it about the anal beads that made him win?
So the world's top chess player Magnus Carlsen branded US team prodigy Hans Niemann a cheat amid allegations the fellow grandmaster was using vibrating anal beads to win matches. So a very similar concept to, do you remember the big Who Wants to Be a Millionaire cough game thing with, you know?
Yeah.
Basically what he's saying is he had the youngster had anal beads
Inserted.
up his rectum, wireless triggered ones, and someone within the audience would set them off when he was about to make a bad move, so that he would then pause and rethink about his move and look for a better one.
No, I get it. So he was about to make a bad move. They would set that off, and then he would inadvertently knock the board, and all the pieces would go flying.
I mean, it's a complicated system and it's a great headline, but why didn't the person who knows what the bad moves are just not play the game instead, rather than letting the kid who didn't know what he was doing do it?
Well, no, this 19-year-old is apparently quite the prodigy.
So why does he need to? Why does he need?
Why has he got to cheat? Yeah.
But the thing is, he's saying he didn't. He was willing to strip naked and be cavity searched to prove that he had no anal beads lodged up his butthole.
It's a game of chess, guys. Like, that has got out of hand when you're having to get a cavity search after a game of chess.
Certainly got out of hand, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it's just so next time you guys are having a little family game of Uno, make sure you bring the vibrating anal beads out in case you want to team up with someone and take someone else down.
The two things could have been unrelated.
I mean, yeah,
That
he
is
could have
true,
just had
yeah.
a kink. Yeah,
That is also true.
like
let's
sometimes
let's not
like,
judge.
like sometimes you use external stimulus to stimulate your brain or your thinking. Like some people will have to stop bad habits, they would use like an elastic band and flick it against the skin, or you can tap your feet to help you think, or maybe the anal beads vibrating in his rectum gets the old noggin going. Yeah.
Just made him sharp,
Yeah.
How did he cover it though? Because if he wasn't sat quite nice, like just my phone. Sorry, got a text. Like, how do you deal with that? Because if you're on a wood chair, I can imagine that.
I don't be like, I'm getting a text.
It's so strange. Like the other player, how did the other player even come up with that concept?
Yeah.
Like whether it was true or not, how did they either know or how did they either come to that conclusion?
That's the thing though, is I can't seem to find any explanation as to why this guy, this 31-year-old guy, thought that about the teen. It's
Can't believe you've
like,
beaten me. He's definitely got something up his ass. Like, how do you get there? Like, how do you get there? Like,
And if we were playing chess and you were cheating and I thought you had something up your ass, I definitely would have thought it would have been like an ace up the sleeve sort of situation, like a bishop up the bum or something. Well done, you didn't have that piece a minute ago. Why have you got 3 bishops on the board?
why is there a condom on it?
Jack, would you call that a new type of porn?
Nice. There you go. There it is.
As if we needed a reminder, this was a dad's podcast.
Yes. This is Loose Dads from Dadsnet on the way in our mixed up show where we're doing everything in different orders. I believe we're doing the big question next, where we find out some questions from Dadsnet members and answer them with also some more advice you maybe should or shouldn't take, depending on external factors and stuff like that. That's coming up next on Loose Dads.